So here's my trip plan for tomorrow. I'm windy. I leave from Lakes Entrance at, I'm saying 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll be down the prom at 12 a.m. the next day, so midnight the next day. And then I'll go up here to Oberon Bay and get a few hours sleep. And then the next day I'll be up early, 5. I'll be at Cows by 2. So that's what I'm planning to do at the moment, and you can see that all the wind is from the east, from the southeast and the east, so that should really help in the trip. That's what I've been waiting for. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. Sloppy out here, but no, we should get out alright. I'd been doing pretty well up until this point, and then I made the mistake of looking out behind me to see if I was on the leads and missed this big one bearing down from a little bit side on. I think that demands a slow motion replay. Go down as an example of how not to cross a bar. One pretty nasty wave got us there on the way out, and yeah, not really the way you should be doing it. So smacked myself on the hand for that one. I suppose it gives you a bit of an idea just how bad they can be, and you only need that one wave. It's going to get you. Came in from the side on a bit, and yeah, a bit of a scary moment. The old girl handled it all right, but the old sailor nearly pooed his pants. Anyway, we're out now and on our way to the prom. All's good. The worst thing that happened with that wave hitting us, the cupboard flew open in the galley and a couple of wine glasses smashed into the sink, so I had to go down and clean all that up. Anyhow, we're on our way to the prom now. It's a grey old day, but the wind's as forecast. It's round to the southeast, and we can use a bit of it to get down to the prom, so it'll make our trip that little bit quicker. Well, a little bit of sun makes a bit of a difference, but the wind's very light and fluky. We're not really getting much off it. We're down around 5.1, 5.2 knots, unfortunately. But hopefully it fills in a little bit this afternoon and we get a bit more drive off it. I've still got nearly 16 hours to go from here to the bottom of the prom, so it's a pretty long trip. What I'm doing, I'm taking little micro naps, so I'll set my phone alarm for 15 minutes, lay down and try and sleep for 15 minutes, and the phone wakes me up again. Then I'll get up, come out and have a look around and make sure there's no obstacles out in front of us. Check the engine gauges and just have a basic look around. But yeah, it'd be good if we had a bit more wind, just give us a bit more speed. Well, it's a little bit joggly out here. I put the sail away because there's just not enough wind to keep it open. We're doing about 5.2, 5.3, which is not really all that quick. I've altered my course a little bit. I'm going to head to the south side of Cliffy Island, and then we'll alter course to head back towards the prom again. It'll be after dark, it'll be about 8 o'clock, I think we do that. When I get to the prom, I'll make the decision whether I find somewhere to anchor up and get a bit of sleep, or whether I push on and head to Western Port. They've posted a strong wind warning for Western Victoria waters now, and that's coming across, so I'd say by Monday there's going to be a strong wind warning out in the patch of water I want to travel in. So it might be prudent to keep going and get the trip over with, get into Western Port and stay out of any bad weather. But anyway, it'd be good if we could get the sail out and do a bit more, but it's not going to happen for a while. At least there's a bit of sun out and it's a bit more pleasurable. Just had lunch and just relaxing and enjoying the ride. On the horizon there is one of the best straight oil platforms. Pretty sure they're all automated now, but just got to be careful when navigating in this area. The platforms are well lit, you can see them at night. Well, the sun's gone, but the wind has come back, so the sail's back out and we're getting good lift on it, off it. We're doing 6.5, 7 knots now, so that certainly makes the trip quick. It's knocked about an hour off our arrival time at the destination at the prom, so that'll be good. I'll probably be getting to Cliffy Island in daylight at around about maybe not around about 20, maybe 9 o'clock, but we'll get the light anyway, and then I'll alter course to take us around the bottom of the prom. I have to be careful down there because there's a shipping conversion zone at the bottom of Wilson's Promontory. Wilson's Prom is the furthest southeasterly tip on the Australian mainland, so quite a few islands off the prom as well. You've got to watch your navigation down there a bit, but it's all well lit and well marked, and yeah, so we'll be about as far south in mainland Australia as you can go. There's a great little cove there called Refuge Cove, just on the east side of the prom. I'm probably not going to visit on this trip. I'm sort of thinking that I might keep on going, but we might visit there on the way back to Tassie, because I'm not sure how I'm doing that yet. I could go over by King Island, but it's a long way to go that way. So I think I may come back this way, probably overnight at Refuge, and then I'll show you Deal Island out in Bass Strait, which is a good little hidey hole, and then across to Flinders. Anyway, that's after Christmas. But we're rocking along really well now. The old girl's going well, and the sail's giving us a good bit of drive, so that's what we want. When there's no wind, it just gets a fair bit slower. Well, the wind doesn't last forever, unfortunately, and it's dropped out again now, and I'm just winding the sail up a little bit so that if it starts to back wind, it's not dragging all over the roof. Still pretty pleasant out here though. Swell's a bit side onto us, but the sail's steadying things down still. Still haven't made the decision whether I'm going to keep going or not. It looks like I might, I think, because they've put a strong wind warning out for Sunday afternoon, so late Sunday, so I think I might keep running and get there tomorrow morning and not have to worry about the wind. Anyhow, we'll see how we feel when we get to the prom. Well, it's 6 o'clock, 6:15. Been rocking along pretty nicely all afternoon. Just got dinner on, got an easy meal, just got it in the microwave. We'll get that into us pretty soon. I'm just going to go and check the engine rooms before it gets dark. We'll go and have a look down there first. What I'll do when I've finished this, I'll get the radar on, put the nav lights on. Just get ready for travelling at night. And the conditions are pretty good for travelling, so while it's like this, we may as well use it. We could go and anchor up under the prom somewhere and get a good night's sleep, but you just waste those 5 or 6 hours when you could be out chewing up a few miles, I guess. You only really have to do these long trips down the bottom. Once you get up past Eden, probably the longest one you're going to do is 10 hours, and a lot of them are 6 or 5 or even shorter than that. So it's the real long ones like this. Down the bottom here, there's nowhere really to go. You've got Lake's entrance in the middle of the paddock, and then Eden the other side of it, and the prom this side. So you haven't got much option but to do these longer sort of trips. But anyway, as long as you get the weather right, it's very doable. As the sun sets, we're just passing Cliffy Island. There's a bit of breeze there still. I was just going to maybe wind the sail up a little bit because I am going to have to I'm going to have to jibe it right at the bottom now. So we're just passing Southeast Point. When I get to here, I've got to alter course and head up that way. Okay, we just come around the bottom of the prom, and I've got to alter course to head further north now, about a 45-degree alteration, and I'm not going to be able to hold the sail on that side, so I'm going to have to drive it across. So the first thing I've got to do is wind it up, and then we'll alter course and we'll get it out on the other side. It's doing a good job at the moment. Degrees. That's brought the wind right over onto the other side of the boat. Now once I'm on course, I'll get the sail out. Just check the radar, make sure we're looking good, not running towards anything. No, that's great. Well, that's good. I've got that sail trimmed up. Wasn't too much mucking around, and it's doing a lot for us. We're skipping along about 7 knots now, so it's a really good speed. It means we're going to reach Western Port in about 8 hours, so it's saying 9:52, around about 10 o'clock. So that'll be a good trip down to there, and I just got to have a look around now, get my bearings. I can see a light out here, that's Danavig Island, I think, and I'll probably see lip trap once I turn this light off. I'll be able to see lip trap up in front of us, so I'll pick up that light. But we're on course. The autopilot's doing the steering as usual. Tap on nav so that it keeps us on course. And yeah, we're 7.3 at the moment, so fantastic speed, it's great. Alright, so it's a jibe in the middle of the night for old dudes. What would you normally be doing? Laying home in bed, nice and warm and cosy, but where's the fun in that? And after all of that, what I'm going to do now is go and make a cappuccino. See you in the morning, dudes. Well, the sun's up, but it's a pretty grey, cold day. Good to see the daylight again, and we've got 29 nautical mile to do. We'll be in San Remo probably around about 11 o'clock or a bit after. Still getting 6.2 knots, so that sail's done a great job for that trip. Well, daylight's always welcome when you do a long trip like this. Sort of wakes you up a bit. I am pretty tired. It's been a long night. I've been grabbing little bits of sleep every now and then, but awake most of the time, so just about at the end of my strap, I think. But we're only about 3 hours out of Western Port now. Be good getting the boat back there. Western Port is where I launched the boat 22 years ago, so we might even take the boat up into the bay and up to Turin and have a look where she was actually launched, take her back home to where she was virtually born. We'll see how we go. But it'll be good to catch up with the kids and the grandkids. They're all very excited. My daughter's coming down to grab a rope when I get into San Remo, and yeah, it'll be good to catch up with them again. I don't get down here, well, I get down here a bit, but not very often in the boat, so yeah, it'll be good to catch up with them. Anyway, it's been an interesting start to the trip, coming off that wave, but the rest of the trip's been pretty good, really. We've managed to average a pretty good speed. The sail's done most of the work on this trip, so it's been fantastic. Just a matter of sitting and getting that weather right, just waiting for it. And they've got a strong wind warning out for this afternoon, so I'll be tucked up nice and comfortable before that comes as well. Anyway, another 3 hours. There's no bar here as such, but wind against the tide can make it pretty gnarly just in this eastern entrance. We're about halfway through the tide now and the run out. There's over a 3 metre tide in Western Port Bay, so be aware of that. We've got here on the run out, and I'm down to 3.2 knots, so we're losing a couple of knots to the tide at the moment. If you can judge it, try and get here with the run in. So this is my daughter Frog, and this is J-Man, and Ethan, and Stella, my grandkids, and I'll come down to Western Port to catch up with them, and it's going to be fantastic. So what was the best part of dinner?
Eating off Pa's boat.
Good on you.